Hello, thank you for tuning into this current pick a read. The question I'm going to look into today is, are you stuck? Which maybe, do you want to be stuck or do you not want to be stuck? Is it one of those situations where if you want to keep it going at the level it is, you're kind of stuck doing what you're doing? That type of thing. So we're going to shuffle as we go. The decks I'm going to use are the Morgan Greer Tarot, and in the bottom here, I don't know if you can see it, if I can get it close enough. There's the information for it. You'll notice it's 1979, which is a while ago. So, but if you look, that's the information if you want to look that up. The oracle cards I'm going to use are Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed. Colette Baron Reed, I think there's a website if you want to freeze frame on this for her. Feel free to check that out if you want to. And then Orion's Animal Tarot would be another tarot I'm going to use. This one is Rockpool Publishing. Feel free to freeze frame on that if you want to find that. rockpoolpublishing.co on that. Okay, so I'm going to now show you the choices we have for this reading. Alright, here are the choices I have for you. Of course, feel free to freeze frame and meditate on whatever feels right to you, or sometimes I'm the person myself, if it just kind of pops out and you have a good feeling, travel down that road. If something pops out and you're like, I really hate that stone, that might be also an indicator. Maybe that's something you need to look at, just to be fair. The first one I'm going to do is this one, which I believe is Tourmaline. I cannot remember for the life of me what this is. I don't know, I just lose the name of it left and right. But I call it the blue speckle stone. So it's got a lot of blue speckles. Very pretty, I think. Amethyst. Citrine. I believe this is a version of Amazonite, so I'm going to put it in the description below as Amazonite. So feel free to freeze frame, feel it out, and decide which one you want to go forward with, and we will start with Tourmaline. Thank you. Hello, thank you for choosing the Tourmaline for those who did. Tourmaline? Tourmaline. Alright, let's get your cards out here. I'm going to hopefully get these in frame. Probably going to walk back and forth a lot. Can we fit one more in there, please? Maybe. Try to put these over just a little farther. Okay, and there's one extra one. Okay. Now let's see what you're dealing with. I might have to move you up a little bit. Got the Chariot. Oop. That one's upside down. The Devil. We're dealing with the Devil. And another extra one for them too. Okay. And let's see. Get some advice cards here. I don't know. That one wants to come in upside down. Somebody's not listening. Alright, so the way this goes, this is where you're currently standing, spiritual position, what's currently going on, where it's going based on what's currently going on, what's not working versus what is working. Which the first thing I'm noticing is conflict is what's actually working here. You seem to be either conflicted emotionally or fighting for what you need to do. The question is, which is it? Because the conflict here, wherever the conflict is for you, that's actually good is what I'm getting from this. What's not working is getting along, which is ironic, right? But it's kind of like going with the flow, getting along, just going with the status quo, saying this is all right, that's all right. That's actually not going to work. Things are stuck for a moment, but things need to change. I feel like they're saying, well, you're not really stuck, but maybe you're putting too much faith in somebody else that really isn't listening to their inner voice or listening to a higher energy. This one upside down, what is it, the winged ones? This to me sometimes signifies that inner voice, or that, that spiritual help, that voice or that feeling like I want to do this, but I should do that, and trying to go towards what you should do versus what you want to do. Whatever you're dealing with is doing what is not picking the high road, that's for sure, and is kind of not listening to like how things should go. there's kind of it could be like a mental block, kind of like I want, or there could be like an entitlement, like I'm owed this, so I'm going to do this, it's my turn energy, is what I keep getting. Feeling like they have to do what they have to do and they're owed something. These two together, the Eight of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the, what is this? The Devil card, all coming forward in one moment. It's kind of making me feel like somebody's just feeling like this is how it has to be. It kind of feels entitled. Especially with the Chariot coming in upside down over here. It's kind of like, I'm owed this. This is for me. This is what I'm supposed to do. You can't tell me no. The way life works, though, I mean, I think we've all learned this. At least the older you get, the more you learn this. You may think you're owed something, but life won't give it to you anyway. Like, it'll just cause you heartache. No matter what we think we deserve, life might be like, well, maybe later. Maybe later. It's just one of those things, and I feel like they're in that moment, like, I've done this, I've done that, I'm owed this. It's kind of like when you work for a company for 10 years or more, and you're like, I'm owed this promotion, I'm owed the next promotion, it's my turn, it's my turn. Meanwhile, somebody comes in and swoops it out from under you, who maybe was more qualified for it, or maybe it was just for them to move forward. A lot of times the universe is like, well, that's not going to happen for you, that's not what we have in store for you, that's not where we see you going. It's almost like, there's other challenges here. You're supposed to go a different direction. And the sooner you accept that this isn't going to go where you want it to go, when you start like looking at what's really happening around you, things might go better. So a lot of times this is one of those energies here, kind of like somebody who put in a lot of work, believe they've done everything that they need to do, that they deserve to move forward, that they're just not getting their just desserts yet. Whoever you're dealing with, I feel like what they're saying is it's up to you to balance this out. And I feel like slowly moving it forward and changing the situation, releasing the block is better. There's a conflict here. This person does not want to give up. It's going to get stuck, or it's going to stay stuck until you change it. I feel like whatever the situation is, whoever you're dealing with, it's on you to change it. Not in the sense of like, not like it's your responsibility, but it's in the sense of, if you don't want this to stay in this energy and just sit here and just stagnate here, if you want it to change, it's on you to change it. Otherwise, if you don't change it, it just stays the way it's been. It will stay stuck if you want it to stay stuck. So I guess it's a question that is kind of returning back to you. Do you want to stay stuck? Do you want this to change? Because if you want it to change, it's going to take the conflict. The conflict, it seems to be met with like respect. When I see the King of Cups over here, I do feel the conflict being met with respect. Is it easy? I don't think it'll be easy. You got the Ten of Wands, but I tend to tell people, and I really do believe this, the Ten of Wands talks about a lot of success, but a lot of work making that success. This is where you're going to build that beautiful house at the top of the mountain, but you're the one carrying all the supplies up that mountain and putting it all together. That's what it feels like anyway. When you're all said and done, you have this beautiful house in this beautiful position that you really love, but it took a lot of work to drag all that stuff up the mountain and to put it all together and to keep up, and then the upkeep afterwards. It's worth it. You love it, but there's a lot of work going into it, and that's what this is saying. This will take a lot of work. The other side does not want to change, has no interest. I do have some dice here. I just want a little bit more clarity on the King of Cups, because I don't want to there's conflict here, but met with respect, that seems kind of interesting. I'm just curious what that means. So we got the Three of Cups and the Empress, or not the Empress, the High Priestess. So it does. So depending on how you approach this situation, I do feel like this person will hear you out. I feel like for those of you this is going to hit with, you know what you're dealing with. You know how to talk to the situation. You know how to come at it in a cooperative way. There's still going to be conflict, there's going to be pushback, but you know how to, relate to it to where it'll make movements forward. It's not just going to create a moment of just blind aggression where nobody wants to do anything. The energy does seem to follow. When you cause the conflict, it does push back a little bit, but it does seem to follow a little bit here. And it's kind of like I see you balancing it out, trying to give where you can give, and trying to move it forward where you can move it forward. It's going to be a balancing act moving forward. I don't think at any point this is going to be easy, especially with the Ten of Wands here. But they do seem to be respectful of you. Let's just do the Ten of Wands, just for argument's sake. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but let's see. So it's the Page of Swords. Yeah, see, you're matching with this, and Justice comes in. You're very respectful to this energy. It's not so much about agreeing with if they're right or not. It's more understanding how they feel and trying to work with it, and I see you doing that. The more you do that, the more successful you're going to be. The Ten of Wands is going to be a challenge, but the more you kind of realize it's not about what's right, it's about how they feel, and you just kind of like working with that and honoring that feeling, kind of just going with it, not trying to buck against it, but just kind of understanding that it's there and just trying to kind of maybe evolve it forward where possible, or just kind of like going, I understand how you feel every now and then, something like that. The more you do that, the easier this flows. Still a lot of work, but the easier this flows. I think we're there. All right, so I feel like we're good with that. I'm going to shut this one down here, and by the way, if you're interested in a reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, James4Astral. That's James, the number 4, Astral, @gmail.com. Or if you're interested in dropping a donation, the donation information is below as well. Just the email and the donation information is below. So feel free if you'd like to. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching. Hello to those of you who chose the blue speckled stone. We've already shuffled the cards. I've already shuffled the cards. So let's go ahead and get your reading going. Are you stuck? Oh, that one came upside down. Well, it came out upside down, so I think we should leave it that way. That seems to match. Okay, what are we dealing with here? Are you stuck? Is that 6? That's 6. Okay. That's your side. Let's do the other side. Put that like that. The Devil card came out again, for the love of Pete. Not willing to give up that card. I shuffled these. I did. I think let's do the Angel. Well, what were they called? Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. Let's do that one. Okay, we got that. So what do we got here for y'all? What's going on? The Ace of Wands here, I feel like that's what we want to get to. We want to try to get over to it. It's not really the most cooperative energy to get to it. Got the Devil card coming in here. This is a weird card. The Wordland? No, the Word Lord. Wordland. Sure, why not? Because it's like, it looks good on the outside, but it's kind of like, what's really going on? What do they really want? What are they really trying to make happen? It's kind of like somebody who looks like they're a hard worker, but what are they really doing? I've had managers like this, where they just waste time. It's like their vocation in life is just to do nothing. I've had managers like this. I feel like a lot of us have, where you're like, they don't just waste their own time, they waste your time too, and you're like, okay, I hope you're enjoying that paycheck while you're wasting my time. This reminds me of that energy, though. It very much does. Like somebody who looks like they're doing a lot and they're really not doing anything. They're literally not doing anything, and they just seem to keep getting away with it. It also makes you wonder, like, do they do that because they don't have a clue in what's going on? Is that why this is happening? Not because they don't want to do work, but because they don't know what they're doing. They really are in the wrong place. Like, why are they where they are? That seems to be what you're dealing with, because you got the Devil, the Seven of Pentacles. I was going to explain this. This is like where you're standing currently. This is your spiritual position. These two cards, this position right here is like what you're currently dealing with, where it looks like it's going, what's not working versus what is working. What's not working is you don't see a way to fix it, and I feel like it's frustrating. You're trying to just get along. I feel like you're trying to get along. Ten of Cups with the Five of Swords is kind of like, what can I really do with this? Because there's nothing I could do to make it better, which is not quite true. Oh, that's the Ace of Wands there too. You both have the Ace of Wands. You can make this better, but it may be kind of like a strategic start. When I see this one, I feel like this is a very, very intelligent energy. Someone who very much looks at the situation and kind of waits for the right moment. And when the right moment moves forward, they move fast. I get a lot of speed with this one. I like this one a lot. I think this is a great card. So it's kind of like morphing that energy forward. Like maybe right now you're having that feeling of like, what good does it do me anyway? Why even bother? I can't. It's kind of like I can't fight City Hall, which maybe you can, maybe you can. But the thing is, what we got to do is wait for the right moment. And I feel like they're saying just wait for the right moment, because currently you are blocked. Currently the situation is kind of stuck. The Two of Swords in your spiritual position is saying, yeah, it's stuck right now, but maybe it should be. The thing is to take this Emperor card and move it right side up. It's kind of like feeling unempowered, feeling helpless. Sometimes with the Emperor reversed, it would make me feel like you're feeling helpless. Like, I know what the truth is, but it's if I start talking about the truth or I bring forward the truth, it's just going to be used against me, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give somebody else the advantage to just abuse me more. I'm not going to do that to myself. There's a lot of energy here with the other side doing a lot of communicating. But I feel like it's a lot of dishonesty. I keep getting that word dishonesty here at the top. It's like right over there. I keep feeling that. But it's somebody who looks like they know what they're doing, but it's just they're playing a game. The devil's there. I do see things solidifying later, but I'm wondering if you're going separate directions, especially with the Ace of Rods a little bit cockeyed over here. Let me use the dice. I'm curious. Are they going a different direction? Are they going a different direction? Whatever this is, are they going a different direction? Which, even if it's situational, is this going a different direction than you are? Because I'm getting both of you have Ace of Wands. Five of Cups, but it's Five of Cups reversed, especially when it comes in like that. It looks very reversed to me. And then the, what is this? The Empress? Nope. The other one. The High Priestess. The High Priestess. That's a little askew. I feel like that's even a little askew. It seems like everything's over to the side. They're not going to be satisfied, but they're going to think that I need to change this whole makeup. So if this is a job situation, whoever this person is, I feel like they're throwing everything out and starting anew in some respect, but they feel like that's their assured way to success. I don't know. It's a weird energy. It's almost like if you work with somebody, if we're going to use that manager situation again, say they're literally your manager. This is somebody saying, well, I'm going to take a different job in the company. I'm going to throw everything I've been doing here, give it to somebody else, and then I'm just going to go and do something else in a different part, and then I don't have to worry about this mess anymore. It's almost like they realize they made such a mess that they can't even fix it themselves, so now they just want to walk away and like make it somebody else's problem. Yeah, no, that's really what I'm getting there. I know that doesn't sound really sunshine rainbows, but that's what I'm getting. They're looking to like go somewhere else, head out. What is this? That's the Seven of Wands. I almost feel like that's how they're holding it together. They're not going to deal with what they screwed up. They're just going to go on to something else. That's how they're going to hold it together. Just like, okay, this is a mess, and I don't know what to do with it. So not my fault. Moving on. Even though I feel like it literally is their fault. But I think we all know people who do that. No, not your fault. Of course not your fault. You didn't throw all that stuff on the floor and make that mess. Of course it's not your fault. Why would anybody think that? I feel like they're going to ditch out in one sense or another. Where does that leave you? Because you do have an Ace of Wands too, which should be very powerful, a very beautiful thing. So where does your Ace of Wands take you when that happens? Judgment in your favor. That's good. That came right up. That's cool. Not really happy with somebody ditching out. You got the Five of Cups too. You're not really happy with this, like, sneaking away without, dealing with the mess you made. Like, basically, this is like the kid that comes over, or how do you put this? It's like having a niece or nephew, and they come over to your house, and they get all this stuff out, and they play with all this stuff, and there's pots and pans everywhere. Then their parents come to pick them up, and then they're just gone. They just leave. The house is a mess. They never picked up anything. They should have picked everything up. Like, that was part of the agreement. You can play with all this stuff if you pick it up when you're done. Then their parents are like, well, we got to go. Sorry, got to go. And they just left. And now you literally have to pick up the mess. And it's kind of like, this wasn't right. It's almost like this shouldn't have happened this way. This isn't correct. You're not really impressed with it, but judgment going in your favor where the whole situation changes. I feel like what they're saying is it feels stuck right now. This person isn't changing is what I'm getting with the King of Pentacles, but I see you detached from this person. I literally almost said the word divorced. So if it's a work situation, it might feel like a divorce, because sometimes those are pretty rough, So it might feel like that, like you're not really happy with that person, but you're separate from them and you're still stable on your own. You aren't changing, they aren't changing, but I feel like I know what they are going forward, and I'm just going to make sure that I don't have to deal with them again. You do seem more self-sufficient going forward. I don't see you still locked in with this person, especially with the Ace of Wands going different directions over there. But I feel like what they're saying is the other person's probably going to ditch out. Other person or situation, if it's a business thing, the other side's going to ditch out. When it does, you're more stable. I feel like there's a sense of injustice here for you, but it's literally judgment in your favor because it frees you from the situation. So I feel like what they're saying is like keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, keep your eyes peeled and your ears open. I'm not saying that right. I'm sure I'm not. Because this is going to change. Just be ready for it when it does. The other side's not going to take accountability. I feel like I've had a lot of readings with people like this. Kind of like you could be a very stable, respectful, legitimate, like you take ownership for what you do. I really feel like it's more common than not that people just run and they don't take accountability for their own mess. I'm sorry, but I kind of do. This is going to be one of those examples. This person is not going to take accountability. They may be completely deluded and literally not feel like anything is their fault. There's no arguing with that. You can make every point in the world that you can make every sensible point in the world, but you probably think in a rational way. The other side is so deluded. Like denial is a real thing. Denial isn't like you can't talk somebody out of denial usually. They're so deep in it that like everything you say is a lie, everything they think is the truth, even though they're living in this fantasy world. So I feel like that's the last thing with this. Like be careful about getting into like a conversation with this person trying to prove your point. You do make complete sense, but they are so deluded that whatever you say, they're like, oh, you would think that. Oh, you would think that person watching this video. You would think that person who chose the speckled stone. That's not right. I'm completely innocent. Everything I do turns to magic. I'm such the blessed person. Everything, the fact that I showed up is a gift to you. And they might be that type of energy. Not to be cynical, but apparently I am. So they're saying, keep in mind, you can make all the sensible points you want in the world and completely be dead on correct. The denial is a real thing. Delusion is a real thing. You're going to be right, but they're just going to be not. You can't reason with somebody who's just lives in a deluded world. You just can't. You know what I mean? If you're looking out the front window and you're seeing, cats and dogs, but they're like, well, I'm seeing like fairies and dragons. It's kind of like, well, we're in totally two different realities. So we're not going to be able to converse here. You understand things the way they are. They understand things in a different way, completely disconnected from reality, at least this physical reality. So it's just not going to mesh. Are we good? All right. I'm going to shut this one down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below if I can get my finger in there. Same email. Instructions are there, of course. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Hello to the group that chose the Amethyst. Thank you very much for watching. All right, let's see what we got for you guys. Oh, I think it's upside down. It came out upside down. I'm trying to honor it the way it came out. Okay. I kind of was like, no, that's supposed to be upside down. I'm doing a lot of these upside down cards lately. Okay, is this 6? We got 6 there. Am I a little off camera here? And if I remember this time, I'll explain what each spot is. This is the 8 of Pentacles. Oh, there's one more kind of like popping out there. What is that? Judgment. Okay. So, let's do the other side, what you're dealing with. Let's move this up a little bit more. Okay. I think I'm... Okay. Okay. Got to be satisfied. Somebody has to be satisfied at the end here. I'll just get these out of the way. I'll explain like the columns here just in case somebody wants to know. This is where you're currently standing. This line is spiritually, where you are spiritually, so this card's like bleeding into both. This is where you currently are working. This is what's currently happening. This is where things look like they're going. This is what's not working versus what is working. I'm actually going to put out, seems to be that. That's it? That's it. Okay, that's it. Whatever you're working with here, I notice you have the Tower starting right off. So if you haven't hit a surprise, you're about to get one. It's a surprise that you're going to look at, and it's going to cause a lot of work for you. I feel like you might have more faith in somebody than you really should. What's not working here is the Two of Cups. I feel like you have more faith in somebody than you really should. Actually, I'm going to clarify that with dice right off the bat. So I'm like, more faith in somebody? So the Magician reversed, that's reversed. And that's the Ace of Pentacles. Something you're used to, something you work to try to keep, but something that I feel like somebody maybe is working you. It's kind of like, I feel like this is what I want, but maybe somebody's like, I'm going to say hoodwink, but what's the better word? Gaslighting? I don't know about gaslighting. Somebody, like, I feel like maybe this is one of those relationships, and it doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be any type of relationship, where somebody makes you feel like what they want is what you actually want, but it's not really. So I guess that would be kind of a version of gaslighting. It's kind of like when, say you don't like my sister doesn't like peppers, but if we keep telling her, no, you like peppers, and after a while she starts questioning, well, maybe I do like some peppers. In short, she never likes peppers. She doesn't like them at all. She just does not like any of them. It doesn't matter what type they are. But it's like, if you didn't like peppers, you keep trying them, and you keep thinking, well, maybe I like some of them, or maybe there's a certain one that I like. It's kind of like a gaslighting thing like that, is what I keep thinking. The Three of Swords is like, whatever this is, you're not really happy. And no matter what happens, you got the Three of Swords working out down here. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can pick it up here. The Three of Swords is like, spiritually, this is not working. This connection is not working. Whatever it is, it's all about somebody else, and it's hardly at all about you. The Four of Wands came in upside down. This is the one I was fighting with myself. I was like, no, it's supposed to be upside down. It was the first card out. It's not what serves you. This is not good for you, and you have to make that judgment. You're meant to judge. Like, it's when people say, don't judge me. Well, I can understand not condemning somebody, but you're meant to judge things. You're meant to judge situations. You're meant to judge whether you're going to be a part of it or not. Judge it. You're supposed to judge it. Condemning, I know condemning is a whole nother thing, but judging your actions and what your actions are going to be, judging a situation based on what's happening and deciding what you're going to do, that's a judgment. Make that judgment. If this isn't working for you, this isn't something good for you. If you're going to be putting in all this work, it might as well be work that's going towards something that you want, because I don't see the situation ending. But the thing is, that's your energy. If you decide to go a different direction, you can get something better out of this. The other energy, the other side, so if it's a person, I feel like what they're saying is this person's more about them than they are about you. And they're not really considering you like they should. If this is a work situation, this reminds me of like when you start a job and say you start like third tier up, like whatever. There's entry level, then there's the second level, then there's a third tier, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to say there's the 8 tiers, and you start in the third. So you're a couple up from the beginning. You're not entry level, you're a little bit up. You're like third level instead of first level. So you're making your way up the ladder, right? But when you start this job, you're like, you let people know, like, I'm not looking just to stay in this role. I want to advance forward. I'm looking to go to 4, 5, maybe even further. I don't know, but I'm looking to advance. I'm not looking just to sit here and stay here. And they're like, that's great. Sure, you can do that. Wonderful. We'll definitely help you do that. But as time goes on, you start to realize, oh, hey, you do this really good. You should stay in this level. This level is great. Hey, we'll give you more responsibilities. We'll give you a little bit more money, and you just stay here. You just don't go anywhere. We don't really want you to go anywhere. Actually, we may have said you're going to move ahead, but that's never actually going to happen. We never even had that intention. We just wanted you to come and work for us and do what we want, not what you want. And it's like the longer it goes, and maybe I'm jaded, but I feel like there's a lot of jobs out there where people, and it's not so much HR that has anything to do with it, it's the management you're working with, is how it feels to me. I could be wrong. Just take it with a grain of salt, but you start to realize people don't really move, and they don't really like to move people ahead. And if they do move ahead, there's some extenuating circumstance that pushes them ahead. And I'm seeing, like, you're figuring out the truth of this situation. The question is, like, the question was, are you stuck? I feel like they're going to kind of change that question, like, do you want to be stuck? because this is as good as this gets. Whoever you're dealing with, it's about them, it's never about you. It's about them, it's never about you. If you want that to change, you're going to have to change it and realize this is as good as it gets. It feels like the person who's going to be choosing this is a very hard worker, puts in a lot of effort. It's kind of like, is this effort going to serve you? When you look back a year from now and you realize this is the same as it was, is that where you want to be? When you look back 5 years from now, possibly 10 years from now, when you think about where you could be 10 years from now if you change versus where you could be 10 years from now if you don't change it. And it's the Tower is here is saying there's some upsets going here. So something is going on here where the other side is just serving themselves, doing something that's great for them, and completely leaving you out of it. And I think that's the Tower. That's what I'm feeling with the Tower. Kind of like this isn't going at all to your what you want. I feel like that Judgment is kind of like I feel like that's advice that you should make the judgment and realize that this isn't for you. You should break this bond. But let's see. I shouldn't say should, but you might be better served if you break the bond. Cups, 2 of Cups, and the 9 is the Hermit. You don't have to do this all in 2 seconds. I feel like to start this off, just be honest with yourself about what's going on in this situation, and then be even more kind to yourself and say to yourself, if I could have anything I want and I wouldn't have any restrictions, what would I have? So like with that Hermit card, it's kind of like it's more of a realistically looking situation. Kind of like, all right, say if it's a business thing, I'm at entry level. I'm at level 3. I want to be level 5. I don't see that happening here, but that's what I want. So if I could have anything I want, I would be level 5. So that's like, all right. So level 5 is this, this, and that. Whatever level 5 is at this company. Is there another way for me to get up there? Is there another company that has something similar? Or, for example, maybe level 5 is a management role. Does it have to be this type of company? Does level 5 mean that, like, say, for example, it's insurance? You're like, does it have to be level 5 at an insurance company? Would I be happy also being level 5 at a food distribution plant? Or a financial institution? Whatever it might be. It's kind of like asking those questions. Does it have to be this business? Does it have to be this type of business? Or are there other ways to look at this? The more you branch out and let yourself think about it, and all you have to do is think about it, you'll start looking at things. You're like, well, okay, I work in insurance, but I do feel like a lot of this transfers over maybe to a financial institution or this other type of institution. I wonder what they have going on there. I know there's a couple companies close by. Let me pop on their website, look at their career tab, and see what's going there, see what's happening. And you might find a better way. I know some people that like went to like fast food chains and they moved up really quickly in those and they found their management position that way. That's what they wanted, but they seem to be very happy. So like, I wouldn't discount something because maybe you're thinking, oh, I don't want to work for a fast food chain, but who knows? Maybe there's opportunities there that you weren't seeing. Just saying, just as an option. If this is a relationship thing, okay, if this was literally a relationship thing, and this is probably good for a lot of different avenues. Big Paul McKenna fan, British author. McKenna, McKenna, I believe is how you spell it. The book I'm thinking of is How to Mend Your Broken Heart. I would do those exercises and then see this for what it really is. And I feel like that might be your hermit moment to like do some research, do some emotional exercises, see the situation for what it really is, and you might naturally just disconnect without much effort. I had an experience myself with that. I saw somebody for who they really were using that book, and once I saw them for who they were and I looked at all the history of like all the times I've been around them, I realized this is not a friendship. This is a toxic connection that really is bad for me. And I didn't want to hang out with that person anymore, and that ended so fast. That connection ended so fast, and I'm very thankful that it's gone. A lot of things in my life have improved since then. I'm just saying, if this is a relationship thing and you're afraid that that might be very difficult for you, I would highly recommend that book because it puts you in an emotional perspective. Just to be fair, I'm a Pisces, and one of the things with water signs is like when we don't feel like we're honored or actually truly loved, we disconnect and we're done. So seeing things through that book kind of helped. So maybe that'll help you too if this is that type of situation. I think that's what I have for this. All right, I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Just go ahead, look below, and you'll see that information. Same email, of course. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. Hello to those who chose the Amethyst. No, that's not Amethyst. That is Citrine. Just did Amethyst. Okay, let's see what we have for you guys. We can get this up here. Hopefully in frame correctly. Oh, what am I doing? I'm doing a lot of them upside down. What's up? What's up with that? And there's one card kind of like Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords over here too. Just kind of literally flew right out of the deck. Like, boom, way across the room. So I kept that. Let's see what you're dealing with. Put that like that. Okay. So before I put any more out, what I'm going to do is I'll explain what's out here. Just going to move these out of the way here. Okay. So the first row, the first column I should say, this one right here, is where you're standing. This is your spiritual position right here. This is how things are currently working. This is where they're headed, the way they're currently working. This is what's not working out well. This is what will work out well. And I do have some advice oracle cards here. Oh, that's to the side. Okay. Okay. What is going on with this other person? Something is really way off balance. The first three cards, Temperance, what was that? Was that the Five of Wands? Not wanting to argue. But not feeling secure and not sure what to do about it. I feel like if this reading is going to hit for the people it's going to hit for, let's do that. It's like lack of interest. Lack of interest, not wanting to fight, not feeling secure. We need something to move forward. I feel like you're working it out the way you need to. This is almost like a job you show up to just to get the paycheck. It's kind of like, I'm just showing up because I need to make a living. I don't really care about this place. I'm really not connected to much else going on here. I just show up for the paycheck. Literally, I just show up for the paycheck. I'm not even showing up to see people or talk to people. Maybe you have very little or no friends there, or you feel like the people that you do talk with, they're all right, but they don't really know me. Could be one of those things. I feel like it's all about the money, which I understand in this, the way things go. I mean, how can you not understand that? You got the Ten of Pentacles here that's not working. So it's kind of like the only reason, it's kind of like sticking with a job, and the only reason you're sticking with it is kind of like, well, this is the best way I can think of to make this type of money, and really not liking the job at all. That's a hard one. That is a hard one. Now, are you stuck? Because I feel like that's why some of you are asking. A lot of you, I feel like there's a financial component. If it's not a business situation, maybe it's a relationship or something where you feel like there's certain things you just got to stick with because financially this is what's most comfortable for you. Do you like the situation? Doesn't really look like it. But financially you feel secure and safe. I'm getting that Gaia's kitchen here. And it's not kitchen, Gaia's garden. I'm not going to say kitchen here. I like the term kitchen in the sense of readings because it shows about not only having abundance, but then what you're creating with that abundance. I feel like the kitchen is where you create something beautiful with the abundance you have. So I'm wondering what else is here for you. Whatever you're dealing with does not seem to really have the potential for more. Not to be, I don't know. There's not really potential for more there. Whatever you're dealing with, whether it be a business or relationship, I just keep feeling like there's not potential for more. Things could change, but I don't see things advancing. Even though this is here, can we get like some more in the Gaia's garden? I don't really feel though like things are. The Lover's card and the Six of Fire. The Lover's card. And, all right, so whatever you're dealing with, so if it's a job or if it's a person, that person or job will experience a high level of success, and it doesn't seem to change anything for you. You just feel that much more disconnected from it. So if it's a partner of yours, for example, if it's somebody you're with, they seem to do really, maybe they get a promotion or things go better for them and they get really excited, or they find a new hobby and they achieve this, they achieve that. It doesn't feel like, I don't feel connected with it. I feel like, well, that's them and that's what they're doing. But it doesn't seem to make me feel any better about this connection. Same thing with a business. Could be a business where they're getting a lot more business in, or they're acquiring a company, or there's new positions, new opportunities coming in. But all of those things I see coming in, I don't feel like really apply to me, or there's nothing I really want. There's just more examples of what I don't want. It's kind of like, I'm going to use the insurance thing again. It's kind of like working in insurance and going, okay, there's a lot more coming forward. Maybe I have new lines of business opening, new territories are opening up to us. But if you're like me anyway, I've worked in a couple different insurance companies, and it is so painfully boring. Like my eyes get so heavy reading that stuff. It's just kind of like this. The level of boring is just, to me, is like unparalleled. Some people love it. Just to be fair, I'm the type of person that I love accounting and I love numbers. And there's a lot of people who feel that way about accounting and numbers. So I'm not saying, universally that's good or bad, but I'm just trying to give you something to relate to. That's all. So whatever this is, the situation itself, the person does better, but it doesn't seem to make a difference. The question is, what does this really work for you? It's time to really decide what you want. Is it the Queen of Cups or the Queen of Pentacles under that? It might be the Queen of Cups. Yes. Okay. So this is the part where I feel like they're asking, it's kind of like, it's hard. It's one of those things where I feel like for most of you that if this is really hitting, it's not about being stuck. It's about believing you're stuck. It's about feeling you're stuck. It's really hard to see outside. So to loosen that up, what I would suggest, probably morning is better, but sometime during the day, when hopefully you're in a positive or relaxed state, if you could have anything you want, just write down a couple words about what you would have if you could have anything you want. And then just start with that. What do you like? And just start tracking down your interests. For example, maybe you love art. Maybe that's one of the things you love. You work in insurance, but you wish you could work in art. And then you start thinking about, well, being a fashion designer would be great. Wouldn't that be wonderful? What a dream job it would be. But you're like, well, I don't really see things for me going that way. But maybe there are certain things where people are, there's window dressers, there's people who create other things with art. There's other avenues with that. But it's kind of like starting to look at, like, well, what would it take for me to get a job around here? What type of jobs are realistic? People who do things in magazines, people who dress up a business, people who go and, help people organize their houses. There's a lot of possibilities. It's kind of like letting your mind open up to possibilities around you. Art, ironically, has a lot of different possibilities. But it's also kind of like maybe you could do something on your own that makes you happy with art, for example. But as you keep going down this, maybe art isn't the way to go for you to keep the lucrative thing going. Maybe you're like, well, I love art, but there's other possibilities. What else do I like? I like working with certain people. I like people who are respectful. I like working with respectful people. I like working with people who are nice to me, but most people do. Not all people, but most people do. So like, well, what other things go in that? Like, what other arenas? Like a smaller situation. Do I like talking? Do I not like talking? Do I like talking to people I care about? Do I like to talk to just anybody? It's kind of like it's going to take you a few weeks to really start building this list of just things you like. And it's like every day you write down something that you like, you try to write something different. Maybe you like cars. Maybe you're like, well, yesterday I wrote down cars, so today I'm going to write down Lamborghinis. Actually, I'm going to make that more detailed. So I'm going to advance that subject forward. The next day I'm like, well, you know what else I like? I like cake. I like cake. I like doing that. You know what else I like? The next day I like walking by myself. I love doing that. And as you keep building this list, I feel like you're going to start finding things that kind of match these things. Things are just going to kind of come your way. You're going to be like, oh, you know what? Working for this bakery, if I work for that bakery there, actually, I might be able to make some good money there. I don't know. If I got up to a certain level, and they do things, different types of cakes, they do baking. They do, there's a lot of work you have to do by yourself because you got to make things work out. You're expecting to work on your own, so that's kind of like walking on my own. Like you might start to see things pop forward that you weren't going to see pop forward before. For example, if you're working in insurance, maybe working in a bakery doesn't seem like something you would actually go towards, but as time moves forward, you start to think, well, working in a bakery would be great. Actually, I would love that. But then you're thinking, well, how much money could I really work? How much money can I make working for somebody else? But maybe if you were making wedding cakes and somebody hired you to help them make wedding cakes, because those are high end, aren't they? Or maybe you're like, well, maybe I could start a side job, maybe a weekend business where I make things on the weekend and I develop my own baking skills, and maybe I take a few classes, try to learn how to make things out of the ordinary and see how that goes, and maybe I could start moving forward in that way and change my trajectory. This may also require, whatever this is, because I'm seeing a lot of finances here with the not feeling secure, even though that's the chariot talks about water, but I see this, it's almost like a pentacle to me, and I'm seeing this 10 of Pentacles. It feels like money is a big thing here. It may require you reassessing like what you really need in life versus what makes you happy. It's kind of like having that really beautiful house, beautiful car, having a lot of money to spend, but then kind of like downsizing or looking at like, do I really need all that crazy money to spend? If I sold this house and got something a quarter of the size and just had a really nice yard, would I still be happy if I had a nice space around me? Do I really need this beautiful, expensive car? Or if I got something a lot cheaper that was still just as nice, just less bells and whistles, and it just wasn't like a Lamborghini, maybe it was like a Hyundai Accent or something, do I still, does it get me where I need to go? Do I feel any different? Do I feel like my life is still great? How do I feel? Do I really need these high-ticket items? It may require something like that, like reevaluating what you have in your life and how much the physical possessions are really worth. It may take that change, and I feel like looking at that and really thinking it through about what do I really love, because like me personally, when I was younger I used to think cars were pretty cool. I still do, but I'm kind of like, I'm not in it long enough to really get something expensive, and if it gets me from point A to point B and I'm confident and happy with it and it keeps me warm, it's pretty much what I need. I don't know, I'm 47, so 25 years ago versus now, it's a completely different view of the world. But I'm just saying, if you reevaluate, like, what are you really getting out of this high-ticket item versus the quality of your life? And for me, example is, for me, spending like $600 to $700 a month on a car note versus like spending $200 or less on a car note and all that, like that's $500 difference. $500 I could do something different with. Instead of spending that extra $500 on a car that I'm not in all that much, you know what I mean, versus like having that $500 per month just to do other things, go to the movies, eat out, whatever I want to do with, is of higher value to me now. And it's kind of like saying that to you, kind of like what you have versus what you really would be happy with, going through that conversation with yourself. It's a beautiful car, but does it bring me enough happiness to, legitimize this $700 payment every month? Is it good enough for that? If I bring it down dramatically low and I cut down on these other things, do I really miss them? Or is my life just as good? You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's what they're saying. You're going to have to decide for yourself, are you really stuck, like how much this means to you and if it's worth changing? Because it seems like I'm not really happy. I'm not really looking to fight for this. I'm just not feeling the energy to move me forward. Of course, I mean, if it's depression, you definitely want to see a professional for that. I don't want to discount that in case that seemed like I was. If you see a therapist or talk to your doctor about that, that might be something that might help you. I don't want to discount it. That's all. I'm just going to throw that in there just in case there's some people kind of like, no matter what I do, I'm not happy. I would say see a therapist or see a doctor just in case that's something that's popping into your head. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Hello. Thank you to those who chose the green stone. I'm starting to think it might be Aventurine. I think I've referred to it as Amazonite. I think it's Aventurine. I'll turn it a little bit in case you want to see it. I'm starting to think it's Aventurine. But either way, if you chose that stone, thank you for watching. Let's see what we got for you. Are you stuck? Alright, so upside down again. Every time. What's that? 3 of Wands. That's lack of movement. Knight of Wands. Well, that's interesting. That's a contrast. Strength. One more. Five of Cups, like, I feel like it's going to cross there, so we're just going to leave that there. The other side, yeah, okay. Upside down it is. Another one upside down. Let's see. That one is the High Priestess. This one's the Knight of Cups, which is interesting because Delphin talks about love to me. That's got a double card, King of Swords, and... Alright, so let me explain where things are, just to start off with. Where you're currently standing, your spiritual position, this line is like how things are currently going. This is where they're going. This is where they're going to end up as they're currently going. This line is what does not work. This line is what does work. And that one just kind of crosses between what doesn't work and what's currently going on. Let's put out a couple of these. One more. All right, I'm just going to move this over here. Is success possible here? Is success even possible? The person in the mirror here, the non-judgment, seeing them for who they really are, there is some optimism here. There is some optimism here. But this is like two people, or you in a situation that it's like good people that don't match. It's the first thing I'm thinking of. It's like good people that don't match. It's like nobody's a bad person. It's almost like people kind of default to that sometimes, though. Well, if you don't match me, you can't be a good person, which is not the truth. But I feel like this is two people who are not bad people, but just don't match. If this is a business situation or something like that where this is situational, I don't feel bad energy with the situation, but I'm starting to wonder if this really fits with you. Your morals and how you want to live life versus the situation and how it lives life may have a direct contrast. The Five of Cups on its side is kind of wondering, like, do we have to do better? Or no, do things have to get worse before they get better? Do things get darker before they get good? It's like the darkness before the light. The darkest point of the night is just before the dawn, like that type of thing. It's kind of feeling like that's where things are going, but things aren't changing. I feel like where things are currently going, things are not changing with the Four of Pentacles. Are we sure with that? Because I feel like you're holding on thinking things will get better. Yet you're still not happy with it. You got the Four of Cups over there. So you got the Emperor and the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like whatever you're dealing with, if this is a relationship thing, I feel like you're gonna feel single if you don't end up single. That's kind of what I'm getting. I don't feel cooperation here. I feel like when whatever the situation is, if you're looking for more cooperation, especially if it's a partnership in some, like, if it's friendship, romance, whatever it is, if it's you and somebody else, you're like wondering how you and somebody else are going to work out, no matter what context it is, romance or not. I'm getting it's like you're going to be pretty much doing things on your own. This reminds me of relationships where I've seen with people, they get along, they're good people, but their interests are so different that they literally don't do anything together. Once in a great while, they'll have dinner together, but that's not even like once a week. That's like maybe once a month or even less. So then the question comes in, is this really the relationship that they want? It's a weird situation. Now, if this is a business situation, I don't see you getting what you want from it, but I see you becoming more self-sufficient. Because I'm getting the Four of Cups saying you never seem to be really happy with it. But the Nine of Pentacles is telling me very self-sufficient and doing what you want, but no movement forward. So especially if this is a business thing, you want transformation, you want this situation to move forward, but it's the Three of Wands upside down is telling me that's just literally not going to happen. It's just not here. I also see the other side, thinking things are working out, but things aren't working out. The High Priestess upside down is feeling like you're in control and things are correct when they're not. When this card right here is upside down, that's what I get from it. It's just having a warped sense of reality when it's upside down. Right side up, this is a great card. It's a great card. It has a lot of power. She sees things for the reality of what it is. It takes what's not working and what is working and tries to use all the resources. It's kind of like reminds me of like an old cook who, like, you know, especially back like 50 years ago, when like whatever was in the refrigerator, you just found a way to make it work. People may not want that liver and onions, but if I can like mulch it up a certain way where they don't realize they're eating it and I can make it taste good, they're going to eat it, and that's how it's going to work. That's what this card is really about for me, when it's right side up. When it's upside down, though, this is also that cook from like 50 years ago taking that liver and onions and like putting it into some type of stew, and then people are like, oh my god, this tastes horrible, I can't stand this. But the person who make it completely going, nope, it's good, you're just being difficult, it's only because you know what's in there that you don't want to eat it, instead of realizing what the reality is here. This is like the lack of reality. Upside down, I feel like it's the lack of reality, and I'm getting the chance. What's not working is feeling like things are more secure than they actually are. For the other side, it's got like a heavy energy. I feel like this is hard because they got the Nine of Pentacles over here too, didn't they? They did. Nine of Pentacles. Whoever this is, it's more doing stuff by yourself. Page of Cups, and then this was on its side technically. The Empress, it's more of that energy. The Empress and the High Priestess to me are a lot like sisters. The Empress is more of an energy of like looking out for themselves and others, and making sure when that energy is balanced, they look out for themselves and others. They're a part of the thing. They're a part of the group, and they make sure that they're not slighted, nor is anybody else in the group. Everybody works out. Everything works out for everybody. You know, you're not. You know, the Empress doesn't do all the work by themselves. They pull other people in, and they keep other people online with that. They also kind of corrugate, or not corrugate. What do you want to say? Correlate? No. There's a word for it, I'm just not getting it. They make sure that, you know, people help other people. Like, you have this going on there, they have that going on there. Why don't you help them and they'll help you? Like, sometimes, coordinator. That sometimes I think of the Empress as a really powerful coordinator. So, like, these two cards go together well. I feel like this person does look out for themselves and the people around them. So this person, or whatever this is, does look out for you. But it's not what you really want. It's not really working out the way you need it to. Are you stuck? You have the strength to make this keep going. But that's not what's not working. You can make this last a long time if you want to. I feel like what they're saying, though, is like you seem to feel like it's going to advance. You want it to transform, but like the Ice Queen is very interesting in this one. It's not the Ice Queen, it's the Swan Queen, but to me it's the Ice Queen when I keep looking at her with all that snow. I want transformation, I want new things to happen, but it's frozen, it's not moving. I don't see this situation really moving forward, so I almost feel like the answer to this is, yeah, this is stuck. This is more of an evaluation period, whether that's going to be okay with you or not, because you do have the strength to carry this on a long time. It's never going to have the level of satisfaction you really need. And the other side is a good energy. I think that's the hardest part of this. Whatever you're working with, whatever you're dealing with, it's a good energy. I feel like that's the biggest challenge. If it was a more aggressive or uncaring energy, then it'd be harder, it'd be easier to walk away from. The fact that it's a good energy, that it's a positive energy, that's what makes it so challenging. So, I don't know, I don't want to make this really simple, but I think this is simple. If you're okay with it staying the way it is, then stay with it. If you're not okay with where it is staying where it is, I feel like they're saying, well, kind of look at what's going on around you. Look at other people and what's going on here. Realize that this is not improving. Look back the last 6 months maybe. For a lot of you, I feel like that's what I would do. Look back the last 6 months. How much progress have we seen in the last 6 months? Because I feel like a lot of you are going to look back and go, well, I thought there was, but then it went, like it was 1 step ahead, 2 step back. It was one of those things. I thought there was progress, but that progress was very short-lived, or actually took me in the wrong direction ultimately. And they're saying if you look at it that way, it's just making peace with what the situation really is. I really think the hardest part is to accept that this is a good energy. There's nobody who's bad here, but this isn't going to go where you want it to go. If you can make peace with that, and you're like, well, it's never going to be what I really want it to be, but this is good enough for what I want. If you make peace with that and you decide that's what's right for you, then that's cool, because you'll do what you need to accordingly, and you'll adjust accordingly. But I feel like what they're saying is they want you to see it for what it really is, not to constantly expect things to move forward that never move forward. The Knight of Wands, this is very interesting. This card, like the Dolphin, is very much the Knight of Cups for me, but they're showing it with the Knight of Fire, which I find it very interesting. The point I'm kind of showing with this, or what I want to bring forward with this, is like you have a lot of passion, a lot of care for this situation, but the Knight of Wands is here today, gone tomorrow. This is like somebody who comes in, you meet them, they seem awesome, you hang out, you have dinner, maybe things go into like a physical level, and then the next day they're like, I gotta go, and you're like, okay, and you literally never see them again. It's just, that's it, it's over. This is that type of energy. Every time you move forward, it doesn't last, and it just goes back to where it was. Nothing really advances. It's very temporary win, temporary gain. If you see it for the context it is, I feel like you'll be able to make your decision on what makes sense to you, what you can be at peace with. I feel like this whole reading is just about, you having the proper context, seeing it for what it really is, and then adjusting your life accordingly, according to what you want and what you need. Are we good? All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.